I'm telling you, it get me every time, man. It get me every single time. Every single time. Welcome to the South Pod, where we cover the storylines, the stats of the NFC South. I'm your host, Corey. I got my boy with me, Ant. Rich is with me. Kratos is with me. And Frodo will be joining in later, or maybe not. But we're going to get right into it, because we got a lot of stuff to cover tonight. Some stuff I'm sure everybody want to talk about. But first up on the agenda, Week 7 recap, man. There was only one victory in the NFC South, one victory, and that was the Panthers doing their thing. So shout out to the Panthers for getting that dub. But we're gonna talk about that a little later because within getting the dub, they took an L also. That's the trend for the whole NFC. That tends to be the trend, But fellas, how y'all doing?
You know what, man? That intro gets me all the time, man. And I think the first thing we should talk about is your outfit today. That shit is groovy.
Hey, that's how I'm feeling, man. You see what's on my chest. At the end of the day, we still who we are. But hey, man, let's jump right into it. Week 7 recap, man. The highlight game of Monday night was Tampa versus the Lions. 4-2 Lions versus the 5-1 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Both teams coming into the game kind of hot. The Lions a little hotter because they lost to KC on the road, so you knew it was going to be nothing but a slugfest once you went into Detroit. However, if you're a casual, like my boy Ant likes to say, if you're a casual, just looking at that game, you'll be like, Tampa's still in the game, regardless of the beatdown that they was getting. I call it a beatdown because Gibbs was a one-man wrecking crew. He was a one-man wrecking crew. They rushed about 164 yards, but that was mainly on one big run that he had. But like Ant was saying, hey, there will be opportunities. And you could tell, they kept poking the bear. They kept poking it. That same play, and they broke it for a long one. And, hey, after that, Tampa, they started playing a little solid on defense. But this was by far the worst offensive performance by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers I have ever seen this season. From an MVP candidate, yeah, he was. You could just tell he was off. He was off. Every throw was high. I don't know what was going on in his head, and I feel he the reason Mike got hurt. That's just me, because he just went on target that game. So y'all know I said last week, concede this game. Don't play them. Don't play Mike. Don't play a boot. It's not worth it. But hey, they said they was in good spirits and they was ready to go, so they was active. So they got active. Nevertheless, the Lions came out victorious 24-9. And I got a lot of thoughts about that, but I'm gonna let the panel talk to y'all about it. Rich, holla at
me. Man, me and you were going back and forth, via text, and we both, shared the same sentiments that, you shouldn't have played those guys. Because what are you saying in the game? You're not going to actually win home field advantage by that game last night. It's just kind of measurement stick. It's kind of measurement stick, in my opinion, to play some of those other guys. Tez Johnson, those other guys coming off the bench against a second string Lions defense, pretty much in that backfield, the defensive backfield that is. So I thought, man, that you guys probably sacrificed a little too much by putting Mike Evans out there. Eventually, got hurt. And I think that could potentially cost y'all later on down the road, man.
I kind of agree with you, but we've been playing with Mike, already, and we went on a 3-game winning streak without Mike. So, I understand what you're saying, but The diagnosis is, hey, he's done for the regular season. He tore his clavicle, so that's 6 to 8 weeks. So if you factor that in, he'll be back right around the time it's time to actually start playing some real football. To see if they can actually make it out the first round if they make it to the playoffs. So I agree with you. You lost Mike. And like I was saying earlier, if you're an NFC South historian and conspiracy theory like myself, like I told y'all, Godwin got hurt October 20th playing against the Ravens in a meaningless game because we had the Falcons the next game that was going to decide who took first place in the division last year. October 20th. Godwin got hurt right after Mike got the hamstring pulled, and Mike was out of the game. So you lose your wide receiver one and your wide receiver two to the Ravens. A meaningless game, and you got Atlanta the very next week, which we end up losing that game. And Atlanta, took first place, but they didn't make it all the way because that's what they do. So fast forward to October 21st, 20, I mean October 20th, 2025, we're playing. It's another meaningless game to me. It's a meaningless game because you weren't supposed to beat San Francisco. If we keep it in a buck, which is our next segment, we ain't like we Ed said, we ain't beat San Fran in 5 years. They've always had our number. So we already doing the numbers like, okay, you split this one, then you good, man. Because these 4 games is a gauntlet, ending with the Saints. Remember that, Phil? We said that. So you play Mike and you play a Mecca against Detroit, against a secondary. I don't even know who was in the secondary. Another conspiracy theory we'll talk about, whatever. All of a sudden, these boys come out the street and they can cover our receivers. Really? Really? Okay, whatever. But nevertheless, I told y'all this was meaningless and it shouldn't have happened. What you think, Kratos?
Man, I honestly, Baker wasn't clicking on all cylinders, bro. Now,
He
yes,
wasn't
granted,
clicking on no cylinder.
yeah, the struggle was real, and I was like, man,
Misfiring.
This is not the same person that I watched. Like it just like he was nervous or something. Like what the fuck? And then once Mike went out, which I gotta say this, man, I hate seeing these folks get injured. I gotta say that shit. But once Mike went out, man, he didn't really have no targets other than Otten, and you could tell how comfortable he was throwing Otten vice, throwing everybody else. So yeah. Plus, I ain't gonna lie, Detroit stepped that damn defense up too, though. Them boys.
Sure. Um, if you say so. I hear you, but like I said, no way dudes coming out the street gonna cover these guys. They're not.
Mm-hmm.
Baker missed 3 touchdowns. Ted's wide open on a corner route. How
Mecca
do you
wide
miss that?
open.
How do you miss that? You've been throwing darts all season. How do you miss that? You missed that because Hutchinson was eating up the right tackle and it was
That's what I
rushing him.
hate.
They was rushing him and he was shell shocked the whole game. So they threw him out of sync. And like
Yes.
I was telling my guys, at some point you got to have bread and butter. Case in point, 49ers played against us. We held McCaffrey to 53 rushing yards. He had 50 passing yards, so he was all purpose still at CMC, right? So guess what? They lose that game. They go back home. You know what they say? We know who we gonna lean on. We gonna lean on CMC, regardless of what they think. We're gonna lean on CMC. That's their bread and butter. I don't know what our bread and butter is yet. I really don't know when the chips are down and you need something to calm your offense down and get everybody flowing. What's the bread and butter? Don't know what that is. And talk to me about it.
Oh yeah, I definitely think it's a combination of a few things. I think to start, it definitely starts with Baker. He wasn't hitting from the onset. He was off.
Definitely.
To start, it looked bad. He just couldn't get in rhythm early, and I think that was the catalyst that drove everything else. Holding on to the football, couldn't find escape lanes to run and maneuver in the pocket, which is something he's really good at. He's really good at maneuvering in the pocket well, and with the Lions getting McNeil back up to bring in pressure up the middle, that was really difficult for Baker to handle because he was getting moved off his platform, and so he didn't have clean rushing lanes. He had no rushing yards at all, which is not something he don't do regularly. So I just really think it came down to Bacon, and I did like the pressure that the Lions were putting on him. The right tackle could not hold up. Aiden Hutchinson was feasting all night,
Hutchinson was a freaking
and
monster.
that's that's what good players do. that was going to be a problem regardless of who, how healthy you were, who was out there. Aiden Hutchinson was going to get his. That's just what great players do. And yeah, and I think it really affected the game. You can only do so much when you got pressure in your face constantly. As far as the Mike Evans thing, I mean, we already know it, Mike. It ain't if, it's just when. Unfortunately, this time it was one of those. It was a bad injury. We thought we had the annual, Mike Evans hamstring, and we thought, usually think that's it, but he's an older player, so. But I do think Tampa still has a lot. I mean, we talking about going forward. You may get Chris Godwin out there. You're going to have Emeka Ibuka. Tez Johnson's coming along. These are just ugly losses that you take throughout the season. It's not an indictment on Baker. And I don't blame Todd Bowles and the staff for going forward with Mike Evans. I mean, when you say a meaningless game, every game is meaningful. You're only playing 17 games. And what we see how tight the league is right now is there is no team that's clearly separating themselves in the NFL. In my opinion, I think the NFC is wide open. And I think when we get down to the last couple weeks, week 16, week 17, those one or two games are going to matter. So I don't think every game is, games can be called meaningless when, if you just look at what trying to win a division is one thing, but when you're talking about getting the number one seed or the number two seed and trying to get a bye, I mean, it's going to come down to that Lions game. It could very well come down to that game. So I think if a guy's ready to go, he's at 80, 90%. I think you play him. And I think Mike Evans has been in the league long enough to make that decision for himself too. So
I disagree. I understand what you're saying. Every game is meaningful, but you and I both know every game is not meaningful. However you want to slice it. That we lose to them anyway. Okay, that's we 5-2. Okay. My thinking, their division way tougher than ours. They're gonna lose more. They're gonna lose more. We have a better chance of out winning more than they do because
I
the
don't
only
think so.
and we got the Bills. Everybody else, we're favored in those games. We are favored. So that's my thought process. Okay, your guys aren't healthy. You got injuries, and we know you're going to be hurt throughout the whole season. But you got to know who you dealing with. Aren't we Marines? Aren't we Marines? Know yourself and seek self improvement. Know your Marines and employ them to their capabilities. Come on, man. No, Mike. Like you said, Mike wouldn't get out there unless he was healthy. I ain't saying Mike wasn't healthy. What I'm saying is I'd rather stomp a mud hole in the Saints next week and go into the bye 6-2 instead of in jeopardy of being 5-3 going into our bye because you done knocked the momentum out of your team. That's just my opinion.
I don't see
That's how I would coach it.
I don't see no scenario in which the Saints beat you guys with or without Mike Evans.
I know.
Just keep it in the book.
I said that.
Yeah, I don't see a scenario where that exists. Further, I get what you're saying, but we're not playing for the win the division. And the NFC North is not that good. The Bears are not that good. The Packers are not that good. I mean, the Vikings are not that good. So, I mean, when you say like they got a tougher road, I completely disagree with you. They're the class of the NFC North, but by far. From what I see playing, and I think they're looking at seeding. I mean, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers could very well, they came into this game as the number one seed in the NFC. They like everybody wants that extra week, and they need it. I mean, you're going to need that extra week if you get a bye. We talk about getting in December and January football. That bye for the NFC is going to make a huge difference for about two or three teams. Either one could be Tampa, could be San Francisco, whoever it is that got guys that are routinely injured. So I think they're playing for seeding.
At the end of the day, we're 5-2. Detroit's still 5-2. There's a lot more football to play, and we'll see how it all pans out. But history has proven me right. So with that being said, we're going to move on to the next topic, which is let's keep it a buck, man. Let's grade our teams up until week 7, man. In all three phases of the game, like Ant say, you got to have a good game in all three phases. So going around the table, Kratos.
Here we go.
Let's keep it a buck. Grade that team for me. What them Saints looking like?
Man, I don't know if I was hard on my team or not, but offense, I gave us a C-. And we showed promise, man, but and we had a head coach, Kellen Moore, it was meant to show some dynamic for us, right? I get it. and to shift some stuff around. But we are lacking consistency. We're lacking consistency. We struggle to learn on our run. I mean, we don't really want to run as much as we're throwing more than we're running, and y'all can attest to that. Y'all see that. Um,
Then
Penalties.
y'all just lose one of y'all running backs for the season. Not Kamara, but the other guy. He tore his ACL.
Yep.
So, but you still got a stable of running backs. Kamara, Edwards Hilaire. He's
And speaking
y'all.
of that, speaking of
Yeah.
command, I'll go ahead and say it now. Yeah, I guess it is time for him to move on to greener pastures, man, and let that
Oh
man
yeah.
go to look Kool-Aid. Look at
Oh
Kool-Aid.
yeah.
Look at that smile.
Hey,
Look at that smile.
absolutely.
Let him. He
Hey,
needs to go ahead and go on the greener pastures, man. And then, hey, I ain't gonna lie, that shit was hard to say too. I'm gonna say this. That shit was really hard to say, but you got to keep it 100 or keep it a buck. It's time for him to move on to greener pastures, man. For him to at least have the ability to compete in a championship game, man. So
so you saying Spencer's production, Spencer Rattler, is fool's gold. He passed for 209 yards against the Bears. So your passing game, hey, it could be viewed depending on how you look at it. He passing because y'all down and y'all getting away from the run, or he's really being an effective quarterback.
uh, but I mean, still for me, nothing against Spencer. It's like I said, it's consistency because we also had a bunch of ints too that
Yeah.
game.
He threw some crucial interceptions.
Yes, and a fumble. So like I said, it's consistency, man, that we're lacking on offense. Defense C minus, and I'm not even going to try to roll on in the defense because we already know our people are old, and it is time to start making some moves, some changes. Some changes need to roll up. Special teams C minus. Again, the positive side, coverage units have held up on the better end. Negative, punting inconsistency, field goal group. We all know group to kick a damn good field goal, but he has just been struggling this season as well. So C minus, special teams.
Ant-Man, Niners, give it to me.
Training staff for fucking F. I mean, god damn. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm incredibly impressed. Coaching an A+. I mean, considering everything that these guys have gone through, the losses we've taken, 3 All-Pro players, 2 clear leaders of the team. To be 5-2 is crazy. To think about defense, I'm gonna get them. We have the youngest defense in the league right now, and I just we starting a total of 6 rookies out of 11 starters, and it's insane to just think about that. And I'm gonna give them an A-. Offense, I'm gonna give us a B-. We one of the top passing offenses in the league. However, we're not putting the ball in the end zone. We're one of the worst red zone teams in the league when it comes to putting points up. But we can't run the football. This is our best game running the football in a while, and so which is not something that's normal. And hopefully that's just an attribute to guys not being healthy. But I like if we continue on the path we're on right now offensively in terms of running the football. I think we're going to be okay. So a B- on the offense. Still love what Mac Jones has been able to do as a coming in as a backup. I like it. So I'm gonna say overall, I'm gonna give us a B.
I kind of agree with that. Yeah, because Shanahan doing what he can do. He doing what he can do, man. They making it work over there. Telling y'all with the Falcons, he gave their offense an F, defense a B, and he gave special teams a B with the asterisk. Come on, Mike McDaniel. Boy,
We
tell
all
him
know
been
what that means.
campaigning for Mike. He been campaigning for Mike, man. I think it's
Yep.
I think it's been
the
hard on his
offense.
offense though.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm thinking, for us, I'm gonna let you go last, Rich, since you won. Offense, I'm giving a B plus because last night I gotta chalk it up as a fluke, man. Like you need that humbling game. You need that game, to bring you back down to earth. Whatever. I told you I ain't like them being too high anyway. Need to keep them where they at. Defense, I'm gonna give them a C plus. I'm going to give them a C plus. No generated pass rush without the blitz. However, they bend and but don't break, so they sticking to what Bowles love to do. They bend but don't break. So I'm gonna give them a C plus. We'll see what happens with Hassan Reddick's MRI on his knee and his ankle, but he projected to miss some games. So, like we've been telling them, this gives Light an opportunity. Go find somebody.
We
Go
got a
shake the
Yaya
trees.
sighting last night. I like that. We got a Yaya
Yes.
sighting.
We definitely did. We had a Yaya sighting, so he started to trend upwards. If you watched him the last couple of games, he getting back there. He making things happen. So hopefully, Light do it, work some magic or something. We gonna need somebody. We gonna need somebody on the other end if Reddick can't go. Special teams, I'm giving them a D. I'm giving them a D. McLaughlin missing too many field goals. We done had punch block, and they can't cover on special teams when we're doing returns. They doing returns or whatever. They getting too many yards. I don't see the effort. I don't see the effort. But overall grade, I'm giving them a B because of the injury. And then, last but not least, them Carolina ground pounders, the only team to get a win this weekend, playing against them Jets, with a final score of 13-6. Hey, Carolina, talk to
Win
me.
is a win, man. But
Yes, yes, indeed.
as it relates to the grades, man. As far as the offense, I'm gonna go ahead and get it a C. Because like you said earlier on in the show, Telly, I'm sorry, Corey, you were talking about what is our bread and butter. Our bread and butter, obviously, it's a run game, but when you go away from that, you start to question like, what the hell are we doing as play callers? Bryce Young right now is 24th in passing, in the league. Our offense, we have the 19th ranked total offense in the league, with 140 of that coming on the ground, which is third in the league behind Washington and Buffalo. So I think we have the recipe to go out there and be successful on the offensive end of the ball, but we got to be consistent with it. And with Bryce Young being injured, and hopefully he's not out more than one game, I still think there's some room for improvement there. But we got to have to maintain consistency, and we got to find our true identity, which to me is the run game and actually giving that ball to Rico Dowdle. As it relates to the defense, kind of tough on the defense because the defense actually cost us some games by making costly penalties. And those things actually matter. Right now, we're seventh in total defense, which is not bad. But like I said, those mental errors, we got to minimize those things, and actually, that's what wins games. So we got to actually improve upon that. So I gave us a C. And just like you, the special teams actually cost us in the New England game. We outgained New England in every major statistical stat in that game and still gave up 42 points. So special teams, we're third from last in the NFL with special teams. So definitely got to improve upon that, man, and get better. Overall, I would say the team is probably a C minus. We just got to put everything together at the right time and be able to get out there and actually, hopefully, withstand some of the injuries and actually try to prevent some of the injuries like some of the other teams are taking, because it's been wild season, man, with all these injuries, especially with the Wounded Warrior Regiment out in San Francisco leading the way. So if we can stay healthy, man, if we can stay healthy and get these guys on the same sheet of music and play consistent football, I think we're going to surprise some people.
I
Man,
got
like
I got to throw something in there, man. I didn't mention our special teams, man. We got a steal from Carolina and Eddie Money Pinheiro, who is the
Pinheiro,
third
yeah.
accurate kicker of all time, and he broke the 49ers record in most consecutive kicks made. 17 for 17 so far. Ain't missed the extra point, ain't missed the field goal, and that was a huge pickup after we let Moody go. And this dude has been, I mean, money. Like, it's
He's
crazy.
been
This dude,
solid.
I mean, it's crazy watching this dude go out here and kick. Considering we actually lost 4 games last year by field goals, missed by the kicker, and we only got 6 wins. So that's 10 wins. That's 4 wins that a kicker lost, and getting Eddie Pinheiro on there it's been crazy, crazy.
yeah, like I said, man, Shanahan out there, he making sugar out of shit. They doing it out there. How long will they keep it up? We shall see. What's going on with our youth, man? He don't want to play for the Niners no more.
The knee injury was it wasn't just like a torn ligament; it was ligaments and nerves. So it's just one of them weird, one of them bad knee injuries. Was a lot worse. It wasn't a clean tear. So I expect him to come back in November sometime, maybe after the bye.
With Purdy's toe being an issue, you see a timetable for Purdy coming back, or is he still week to week?
Week to week, I think he's been making a lot of improvements. He's been practicing. So for the last week, he has been practicing, mostly limited, but throwing. But I just think they want to take their time. They're trying to avoid anything surgery wise with that turf toe. But like he said, it's annoying. Every time you think you make progress, you have another setback or get sore. So I think it's gonna be week to week.
Yeah, because one thing about it, we always go back and forth with this, and I done came to the realization that it's not the system. Shanahan just knows how to pick the quarterbacks to run his system. He knows how to pick the fit for his system. Because every quarterback that's been there, they get positive, results. The majority of them, what, 80% result rating?
It's
Results
lower.
maybe.
It's lower than that. I'm gonna say 50, but
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like he knows how to find the right quarterback for his system.
yeah.
Like he can thrive. There were a few that just couldn't get right. And those guys are basically out the league or somebody third string. But yeah, shout
Hey,
out
just
to the
a
Niners.
question for Ant. We talked about earlier with you and I, Corey. Just like I said, sharing the same sentiments about bringing Mike back too early and actually should have rested those guys. And I was kind of curious with George Kittle, and I was like, damn, maybe they brought George Kittle back too early. But however, George Kittle played pivotal in the game as far as that run game goes, and we saw what Christian McCaffrey did. And we saw some huge blocks that George Kittle actually made. But my question to Ant, moving forward, with Mac Jones as your quarterback, do you think it's essential for him to actually get Kittle involved in that offense to open up, other avenues of that Kyle Shanahan offense?
I mean, yeah, no. I think Kittle is going to be most important right now. Is where we're weakest. It's not the passing game. I mean, we've all seen what Mac's been able to do in the passing game with Evan who's out there. Jake Tonges, who was filling in for Kittle, was getting touchdowns and catching a few balls. I think right now, I think the importance of having Kittle back is just that additional run blocker. In the way he does it, I think that really gave our run game a boost so much. He didn't catch a single pass, and it was also weird seeing him out there and actually waving his hand to come off the field because just conditioning stuff. So I think for right now, man, you just want to see that dude block, and he loves that. Like he said to him, going out here, laying a hat on somebody, decleating somebody, getting a pancake is way better, like he said, than catching balls. And so I think for him, man, it's just really getting involved in getting that run game going. Because if we get the run game going, the passing game is going to be wide open, especially as they start play action and people have to respect that run game.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be wide open for him. So I think Kittle's going to get his opportunities. I don't think it's nothing that you need to press. I think as guys start to come back, I think that's all going to come naturally.
Yeah,
Well,
Kittle's a football player, man. He's not just a
Yeah.
tight end. He's a football player. So, like you said, when he came back, you getting more than just routes. You getting a football player. He can block. He can do it all, man.
I think one of the other key things too, with Kittle coming back is from the leadership perspective. You see that guy's fire, every day when he out there. But I was pressing the issue because I started his ass on my fantasy football team, and he cost me a lot. He cost me a win because he didn't catch one single pass. But overall, he did what he needed to do for his team, and that's the win that most importantly count.
Yeah.
So.
And I want to mention one more thing. Last thing is just one thing I noticed that Atlanta was doing. They played a lot of cover two shell, which is something they don't do. They had two safeties back, and when you have a Kittle, it's like Kyle said. That safety don't play up into the line. He presents obviously he's always a threat, so that box was a lot lighter compared to what Tampa had done. That box was lighter. You can't blitz when you got like Kittle out there. You can't do a lot of those things. So you have a Kittle. A lot of those run broke because they were playing a lot of cover two shell. So those boxes were real light with Kittle out there.
Yeah, they got some problems down there in the ATL. We'll see what happens. Oh boy, where is ATL when you need them? Nevertheless,
he's making comments. He's making
he,
comments.
yeah, he was in the comments. I think he might have took his exit right now, so he got off. And speaking of exits, boy, the Giants exited the game a little too soon, didn't they?
Oh
They
wow.
had that game on lock, and Denver comes all the way back. What, 25 unanswered points, 25 in the fourth quarter. They had the game on lock, and they lose the game. And to make matters even worse, Sean Payton talking noise about Russ
Yep.
in the press conference, and Russ biting back. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it, man. That was crazy.
I mean,
And just,
bad teams will find a way to lose football games. That's still a really, really young football team.
yes,
Defensively a little older, especially in their front four. I always say the Giants have one of the best front fours in the league. I mean, you got Tavon and Burns and Dexter Lawrence and those guys. But that back end needs to be shore up. And again, it just goes back into every time you think you got it in the bag. I mean, I don't blame the kicker. I know. I mean, you have to look back at 25 unanswered points in the fourth quarter. You
and
shouldn't
the
want.
interception that dart through. You got to look
Yeah,
back
I
at that.
mean, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things in that game. I mean, when you come back to it, I mean, before we get to the kicker, it's just like, bro, like y'all gave up 25 in the fourth. So
Mm-hmm.
love what Jackson Dart did on that last drive that they had, but it really comes back to the defense. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I know we were all debating on whether Dart was going to be anything in the league, and the jury's still out, but he is currently showing that he can be that guy. Now, when they get enough tape on him, we'll see, as time prevails. But right now, Jackson Dart is looking pretty good in the NFL. To me, he's looking better than any of the quarterbacks that came out with him.
Yeah, my opinion, I think the jury is still out on him. He's actually using his opportunity that he got to go out there and excel, and he's actually putting some nice highlight reels together. But I think, the comments that Sean Payton made, in regards to Russell Wilson taking a stab at him and, talking about, hoping that they put Dart in there, I think that'll come back and bite him in his ass because I think Jackson Dart still has a lot to prove. And you're talking about a quarterback that's going to be in the Hall of Fame. So I think that's kind of unfair. And I agree with Russell Wilson. That was a classless, act by Sean Payton. And if it wasn't for the Giants' defense, they would have lost that game. So I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I didn't like it either. I agree with you. I thought it was classless. Russ is whether you like it or not, is a very respected player in the league.
Absolutely.
He's paid his dues. That wasn't a necessary comment. Jackson Dart is very reckless when he runs the ball. He runs upright when he runs the ball. He takes a lot of unnecessary hits. There's a lot of things that he does not do well. There are some things that he does really, really well. The jury is still out on him. Further, who the hell is Bo Nix? I mean, he did everything to lose the game. Truth be told, it's always different. You can talk from that pedestal when you get a win, but yeah, the win was earned, but it was more or less lost too. Denver was doing everything to lose that football game as well.
Oh well. Salute to to Denver. They got the dub, and the Giants. I think they got their quarterback for the foreseeable future. We shall see. But I tell you, who left the Giants and they done found a new world, boy. That goddamn Indiana Jones. That Indiana Jones out there in Indianapolis. Is he for real, y'all?
Hell no. It just to me it's just Daniel Jones, man. I just I love what they doing. They really ain't played nobody yet. The Chargers are limping. They're a bad football team right now. They have been. They got a significant amount of injuries. They can't get out of their own way. I'm waiting on them to play somebody for real. And they have some games coming up. This stretch that's coming up here. Is really going to give us a chance to really see who they are. So I'm looking forward to seeing who this Indianapolis team. But to me, very reminiscent of the Jaguars a few years back with Blake Bortles. You know, a lot of good things, but I'm not trusting Blake Bortles or Daniel Jones. I just can't.
Absolutely. It just seems like everything working out right for them. You know, I saw today they working out Shaq Barrett. You know, they trying to add more to their defense. So they moving in the right direction, Rich. I
Yeah,
see them going the distance.
I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I'm not a huge Daniel Jones fan, and right now, what he's doing is, I don't know if y'all remember the movie Scary Movie and Doofy, and you know, at the end, my boy just changed into a whole different person, a whole different man, a whole different persona with swag and everything, like that. And that's what's going on in Indianapolis. You know, I would agree. You know, when Ant in this aspect, when he said coaching actually matters, and I think you can kind of see that actually being implemented in Indianapolis and what those guys being able to actually do out there. And I think he has solid leadership with Jonathan Taylor and some of those guys on the defense that's keeping them in check. And he's doing everything to win the game. Unlike in the Giants, he's not doing shit to lose the game. So I think he's performing well. Kudos to him. But I still think he's a bum ass quarterback.
Tell them how you really feel about him. What did he do to you? Man,
Nothing
listen,
besides go to nothing.
after everything he been through in New York, man, come on. You got to applaud him. They playing pretty good. He's in a good system, just like San Francisco. You know, he's in a good system, and he got a lot of weapons around him to where he don't have to do much. He don't have to do much. He can't mess it up.
No, and that's the thing. You asked me, you know, the question you asked was he for real? I mean, he's playing well in that system and everything. He has good players around him, but I think uh, you take him off that team, you put him with somebody else, and you're going to see the old Daniel Jones. You're going to see him actually, you know, regress and start doing the same dumb shit because he's not able to think on his own. You know, he's going to be double. He's going to be second guessing himself. You know, making unnecessary throws. You know, causing interceptions, wide open, running down the field, ready to score, and then trip up over your own feet. That's the Daniel Jones I think you would see if he wasn't on the Colts.
Do you think teams are going to start, holding on to their quarterbacks a little longer, to help actually develop them now that they see the Bakers, the Sam Darnolds, you know, not Geno. We're not gonna put Geno in there, but you see these resurgence of quarterbacks, having bounce back seasons, like doing a whole 180, whatever, turning their whole career around. You think they're gonna hold on to quarterbacks a little longer instead of wanting them to come out ready? Because it's all these last couple of years, like, oh, he NFL ready. He ready to be a starter now. And that wasn't always the case. And we're starting to see that. And, if they wasn't, then they would, hey, we give you 3 years, we done with you. On to the next one. Think they gonna hold on to him longer?
I, I really I really think it's one of those things where we just said it, coaching matters. I think a lot of teams going to take harder look at offensive minded coaches. We talk about guys like Kellen Moore, who just got hired, so on and so forth. I think like Spencer Rattler, people may not like it or not, but he's taken a huge step forward. He looks a lot more competent than he did in the past. And I think that's attributed to what Kellen Moore has been able to bring to the Saints offense and help him see the field a little bit better. We talking about guys like, even if you look at Joe Flacco over there with Zach Taylor in Cincinnati, it's really just about quarterbacks playing on time, teams identifying what type of quarterbacks can fit certain coordinators instead of forcing some of these quarterbacks onto these coaches. Anthony Richardson was never a good football player at Florida. I feel the same way with Cam Ward. I don't think Cam Ward was a good football player either. But I think a team's going to take a harder look at some of these offensive-minded coaches and try to, patience, yes. But Baker was never going to have success in Carolina as it stood at that time. He was going to be behind Matt Stafford in L.A. We talk about guys like Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold was in bad situations, both in Carolina and in the Jets. It was an organizational thing. We look at guys like Sam Darnold, and he wanted to play in the West Coast offense. He felt that the West Coast offense was a better fit for him. So I really think it's just about the approach to coaching, really. So I don't think necessarily about holding on to guys. I just really think it's about coaches being able to identify whether a guy can play on time in a system. And like I said, if you draft a bad quarterback, you just can't put them with any coach and think you're going to have success.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
I agree.
I think if you got a number one draft pick and you're going after a quarterback and your defensive coach is the head coach, you got a defensive minded coach, you might want to make sure your OC is on point. You because a rookie going to a DC as the head coach, case in point, Drake May when he went to the Patriots and Mayo was the head coach. They didn't
Mayo.
set him up. They didn't set Mayo up to actually succeed in New England.
They
That's
didn't.
just my thought. They did not. So
Yeah, the approach has definitely been different with Mike Variable. Further, another good example, and I don't like the way he's playing right now, but I think he's a good football player, and it's C.J. Stroud. I love D'Amico Ryans. I think D'Amico Ryans is a hell of a coach, but he's fired 2 offensive coordinators in the past 2 years, and he's gonna look like he's gonna fire this guy at the end of the year. I think C.J. Stroud is a good football player. I think everything in front of him, as far as offensive line, isn't that good. I think he has great weapons with him, but he's struggling to see things clearly. And who's ever coaching him from a quarterback coaching standpoint in offense, he's not seeing the field well. And I think it's really hurting him that he can't be consistent week to week. And he's taken a tremendous step back from his rookie year.
oh, definitely C.J. Stroud, man. They got rid of his left tackle. That's a good example. You know, with being with a defensive coordinator, they got rid of his all world left tackle.
Yeah, another Hall of Famer.
How you gonna do that to your quarterback, man? And bring in somebody else that's not even holding the candlestick to who they let go. That didn't make any sense to me. And as a result, CJ running for his life.
Yeah, and,
He
and
running for his life.
if they would have the same approach that they have to defense or offense, I mean that team would be elite. I mean the guys that they have on defense is just, I mean their defense is nice, and I think if they were that aggressive offensively when it comes to the line, I think they would do a lot better. I think again, we talk about it when you value one thing more than the other thing. One thing I like with Kyle Shanahan, and they talked a lot about it when they were showing the Atlanta game, is he values defensive linemen. He values defensive football players because of his time he spent in Tampa with Mike Tomlin, with Raheem Morris, and he said, "Man, like you can change the league." He said his dad always told him that if you want to be a great offensive mind, you need to understand defense first. And so, if you come out here and as you're offensive minded coach and you don't value defensive players, you're not gonna do well. And same with defensive coaches. If you value just defense and you don't value offense, I mean, it's going to hurt you a lot.
And I think one of the other things that's also kind of hampering CJ to a little bit is the lack of the run game. With Joe Mixon being out, pretty much the whole season, you're not getting much out of those backup guys. You're not really getting much from Nick Chubb or any of those guys. So I think that actually easy to game plan that, especially when you can kind of see looking at the film and looking at the tape. CJ is not seeing the field well. He's not playing like he did in his rookie year. So it's easy to game plan against that. You see the effects of that when they get out there and their lack of performance on that field. So I think if they had an established run game, that kind of would help CJ out a little bit. But right now, man, they're not doing well. And I don't understand for the life of me, why would you trade your offensive tackle, who's going to be a Hall of Famer, that would help protect CJ? I don't understand that.
Yeah, hey, it's H-Town. Chicken and wings is all, chicken and chicken and chicken. You know what I mean?
And the turkey leg hut.
Yeah, in the turkey leg hut. In them little corner stores, You know what I'm talking about. Hey, week 8 coming up, man. Any surprise upsets that we looking at?
I'm waiting. I want to see the Bills and
I was just about to say that.
I want to see that. I'm interested to see what Carolina gonna do with the Panthers, man. Like real talk. The Bills. What you think Josh Allen gonna do to y'all, Rich?
I think Josh Allen is going to sit his ass down and actually take this L. That's what he's actually going to do. But no, honestly, man, I think that, we talked about it a little bit on this show, and I know Will mention this all the time, and you got to be able to go out there and perform on all three phases of the game. If you can't actually do that, you can't expect to win football games. The Red Rocket is going to be in there playing this week because of the injury to Bryce Young. So I got to see how that's actually going to play out. What I did like from last week's game, even though we played very mediocre to a very less than mediocre team, is that connection with Xavier Legette. And that was the first sighting in a while that I seen Legette had that many receptions and actually that amount of yardage. And you can see the chemistry between him and Andy Dalton. So we got to play well, man, on all three phases at home, which is another plus. We haven't lost a game at home yet. So I'm banking on that. I'm banking on that to remain the same. But it's definitely going to be an uphill battle, man, against a good Buffalo team right now that I think is struggling a little bit to find their identity. If they go with their bread and butter, get James Cook going early, I think we may be in trouble. But I'm going to always be optimistic, man, and say the Panthers are going to come out on top.
So you're telling me without Bryce Young and the Bills coming off a bye after losing, the last taste in their mouth was an L. You gonna keep that L in their mouth?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Truth be told, more. I mean, they was coming off 2 L's. So they, they lost to the Patriots right before they lost to Atlanta, and I thought the same thing on Atlanta. I thought the team would be hungry. I thought they'll fix their discrepancies, and yet they came out, did not run the football. I got James Cook on my fantasy team, and I think one thing that the Bills have not done at all since the first couple of games is ran James Cook into the ground. I mean, this guy should be getting 25 touches a game, and they've gotten away from that. And they're asking Josh Allen to do a lot. And Carolina has an opportunity this week to. I don't even think it'll be an upset at this point. I think the Bills they don't do a lot of things well. They're not consistent in the passing game. They're not consistent in the run game. They struggle on special teams. They struggle. Their defenses, it holds all over the place. So, I mean, that's why I said the league is wide open right now. I thought that the Bills started off as one of the stronger teams. They're middle of the pack. They're middle of the pack. And so Josh Allen isn't playing all world right now. He's not even in the MVP conversation as far as I'm concerned. He's well out of it. And I just think they need to get back to Bills football, which is running the ball.
Give me your top 2 teams in the NFL. One AFC, one NFC. And go.
For me, I'm gonna have to say Detroit. I think Detroit has a lot of upside. I love the weapons. I love what they can be on defense, especially once they get healthy. I like what they're doing. They know who they are offensively. They're a team that wants to run the football. They're a team that when they want to activate the passing game, they can do that as well, and they can be efficient in doing that. The defense plays, man, with their hair on fire. And I think that is attributed to their coaching culture and the team culture that they have in Detroit. They're a tough team. They play physical. I like what Detroit is right now in the NFC. I would say for the AFC, it's hard. I don't see there's no team that really jumps out at me at the AFC, to be honest with you. I like the way the Patriots are playing. But I don't think they have enough just yet from Drake May consistently. But I'm gonna have to say Kansas City.
Yeah.
Still Kansas City.
Yeah.
Who you got, Rich? Who you got?
I'm going with Detroit as well as Kansas City. Right now, Detroit is the formidable foe, in the NFC. Right now, they have a lot of weapons. They're doing what they need to do on both sides of balls. And once they get their defensive injury guys back too, I think they're going to actually be tough to beat. And now you're starting to see what Kansas City is doing in the AFC when they're getting all their weapons. They're shoring up their defense. They're playing a lot better on defense as a whole. And when you look at the amount of toys that Patrick Mahomes has right now, he's pulling Lamborghinis and Ferraris, out of that garage. And with Rashid Rice back, and we saw the instant results with him being there, I think Kansas City is going to be tough. I mean, it's easy for everybody to say the Colts because of their record right now, but I'm still not a believer in Daniel Jones, man. And I just think at some point in time, he's going to pull that mask off, and you're going to see Shaggy from Scooby-Doo.
The same Detroit, and that's just the that damn defensive aspect, man. The boys was rolling last night. Hutchinson, dog, the dude was rolling. So I gotta say Detroit, and same thing with Kansas City. Even though I can't stand Kansas City, I gotta say it. So
Thank you.
So everybody's saying Detroit and no, I'm not doing that. I agree. I agree with Detroit. I
yeah,
agree with Detroit. I seen it firsthand. Hey, all three aspects of the game. Detroit. AFC. I'm gonna go with Ant first statement. Is up in the air, is wide open. I'm not giving it to KC because okay, you beat the Raiders 31-0. Whoop de doo. Who ain't gonna beat the Raiders 31-0?
Saints.
You got
Saints.
Geno playing on your side. Geno playing on your side. So no, man. I'm AFC to be determined. Ain't nobody took the reins yet. There's nobody's taking the reins. And because we don't know how good or how fraudulent Indianapolis really is, I'm not gonna say it's Indy. And I'm not gonna say it's KC. 31-0 against the Raiders. Nah. There's not nope. I got KC fatigue. I'm telling you right now. No. I don't care what y'all try to put. No.
I
No,
think
not
we, I
happening.
think we both got KC fatigue, but
Well, everybody in here, but
Nah, that's the Raiders. That's the Raiders.
no, and but what you want to see more? I mean, you want to see teams win games that they're supposed to win. And I think a lot of teams have been struggling with that this year, man. It's like there's games that you say, we're the better team, we're the better class, and a lot of teams have been struggling to beat teams that they're just supposed to beat. That was a good warm-up game for Rashid Rice to come back in and get that type of burn. And then it makes you, it really like, man, is Kansas City back? They got their guy back. It opened up a lot for Hollywood and Kelsey. It just opens up the field and make them play a little bit more complete. So I'm hedging my bet on KC just based off the ceiling of what it could be. It has nothing to do with the Raiders game. I think anybody can beat the Raiders.
Yeah, absolutely.
So okay, I give you that. You're right. My KC fatigue is not justified, but it is. Um, it's Mahomes. It ain't Rashid. I guess I don't like it because everybody like, oh, when he get Rashid Rice back. No, it's Mahomes. It's not Rashid Rice that makes KC who they are. I don't agree with that.
I don't really think that it's Rashid Rice either. I'm just saying that he has another weapon to actually throw the ball. Overall, in my opinion, I think it's a combination of Mahomes and Andy Reid play calling ability that makes Kansas City who they are. So that's what I'm saying. And looking at what Mahomes has done over these last couple of weeks, now we can throw him into the conversation of the MVP talk. I mean, he has 14 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. And all before, we were clearly talking about Baker Mayfield until, the Monday night game. But I just think right now what Kansas City is starting to put together and they're getting their pieces back, I think it's going to be very tough for them to actually beat in the AFC, even though we say it's wide open, but there's a lot of teams that's starting to digress. I thought the Chargers was going to be decent. We're seeing them actually, constantly actually go down the slide. Same thing with Buffalo. There hasn't been a Baltimore sighting at all.
Nope.
So I think the door is wide open for Kansas City because there's really nobody out there to actually compete with them at all.
So are we saying that the Ravens beating the Bears on Sunday will be an upset? Is that what we're saying?
If Lamar plays, it ain't.
Yeah. If Lamar ain't playing, no, it's not an upset. They can't stop anybody on defense. They're not doing anything on offense. Derrick Henry has been the biggest disappointment this year out of all the players, in my opinion, coming out that who's a potential NFL MVP candidate each year, and he's been playing like a bum. So it
My
wouldn't be
wife said we all bums.
now. Your wife said we all bums. There may be some truth to that.
Oh, it's some truth.
Oh. Anyway. Yeah, the chat says the Giants over the Eagles. So they saying Giants gonna sweep the Eagles? Who Mr. Majesty. They're
I think
Bucks
that might
fans,
be.
so they one of my people. Gotta be.
Yeah. I think that's my homeboy Kevin.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I
Mr.
think that's
Majesty.
Kevin. He's a
Well,
he's a Ducks fan too.
yeah, Mr. Majesty said Giants over the Eagles. So we're saying in 2025 that Jackson Dart is about to sweep Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Jalen Carter. They about to get
Saquon
swept by the
Barkley.
Giants. Yes, they about to get swept. That sounds like a nice little bet.
Mm-hmm. Not just, but yeah, it ain't gonna be me.
I don't know who's taking it.
Drop your bet. Hey, Mr. Majesty, drop your stipulations in the chat. We'll see if somebody want to take that. Giants.
But if
I
it
see.
does get pulled off,
I see the Colts ain't playing nobody again. They playing the Titans who having a fire sale. Come on, man. So now they about to be 7-1. Are you? Hey, call it what you want. The Colts schedule is set up perfect for them. It is set up perfect.
Yeah, man, it's something they don't. I mean, after that though, I think they're going to Houston.
Yeah, they still got it. Let's see. Let
Houston
me
and the
pull up their
Rams or something
schedule.
like that.
Let's see who they got.
Oh, but wow.
They got the Titans, the Steelers, the Falcons, the Chiefs, and then the Texans.
Yeah, that's why I said they
Jaguars.
got a stretch where they're going to take a lot of losses.
Yeah, so I think it's about
Yeah,
to get
after
tough.
the Titans.
Yeah,
So and this is where we
After the
can really,
Titans.
and this is where we can really see, to answer that question: is Daniel Jones for real, or he wearing that mask like Scooby Doo and he's damn shaggy? And he's just been getting high, just been playing well.
that glass slip about to fall off,
oh shit.
and the clock about to
Hey,
strike 12. That motherfucker gonna turn into a pumpkin.
long as they
That's
I
it.
know one game coming up they better win, and we all gonna be cheering for them. But I ain't saying nothing.
Where's Telly?
I
know,
think y'all
right?
know which game that is. You
Yep.
know which game that is. Who Mr. Magic said after giving up 30 in the fourth quarter, got to be hell embarrassed. Eagles about to catch it. Man, does he smoke? What does he? Rich, your boy smoke?
I don't know.
Oh
Got to.
wow. He said Eagles about to catch it. Okay. Yeah, they about to catch a lot of passes. They about to catch a lot of passes. AJ and Devontae probably gonna have 100 each. Yeah, that's a revenge game in New York. I can't wait to see it. Man, that's a bold pick. That's a bold pick. I ain't mad at him. Wow. Go big or go home. I just know every time I pick the Giants this year, they done upset them. They done won. So, fellas, will we see Shador this year? I've been hearing rumors that he gonna start the last 4 games.
That's wild as hell. That's all I'm gonna say, man. That's wild.
That's what I've been hearing. That's what they've been saying coming out of Cleveland. He started the last 4 games.
What do you stand to gain by starting him the last 4 games?
Right.
Are you looking to see what he can actually do on that field when it really is meaningless? And just trying to see what the future holds for you? Are you looking for draft capital? What are we doing?
Political NFL politics, dog. I said it before. I'll say it again. NFL politics. They on that bullshit. That's all it is.
I mean, you got to see what you got.
So would you say the same thing? Would you say the same thing in New Orleans? Putting Tyler Shaw in?
I mean, if they keep trending the way they are, why not? Why not? You got to see what you got. And he's sitting on the sideline. You don't know what you think you already know. You know what I mean? It's a reason he's on the sideline. We got it. Rattler playing better than him. But if you don't believe Rattler's the guy, you got to put him in. First round pick. It's a first round pick.
And we all know
that would be a waste. That would be a waste not to see what this guy can do if your team is steady losing. But we know it ain't the quarterback. The reason that they, well, I ain't gonna say that it is the same.
He had some turnover shit.
That's one of the worst draft picks in New Orleans history. Besides giving up all that capital for Ricky Williams back in the day, there's no way in hell you draft Tyler Shaw.
Bruh,
Oh,
but I
no way,
told
bro.
y'all, man, we just do the dumbest shit. That's and I continuously say that. We do the dumbest shit, and all you want to do is put that fucking bag back on your head, man, and put ain'ts right across that bitch.
Man, I'm pretty sure they could have went to the MEAC and found a better quarterback than Tyler Shaw, for sure.
Bruh.
I'm telling you.
I don't know. I still got to see him. I got to see him. I'm sorry. Preseason ain't really telling me nothing. I got to see it. And if you really look at the practices, you ain't really learning too much in practice either about him because it ain't full speed. It's
Mhm.
not like being on the actual field. So you're gonna have to give him a look, just like you gotta get Shador a look. You got to give him a look. We ain't seen what both of these guys are capable of. So I say if both teams keep trending the way they are, they got to take a look at them. Especially if you Kellen Moore, because you got to know what you're doing next year.
But why
I'm
wait?
sure Kellen probably already has in mind who he wants.
But why wait the
If
last
the
four
guy ain't
games
in the
though?
building, if the guy's not in the building, I'm sure Kellen already got an idea of who he wants to bring in. And it very well could be Mac Jones out there, auditioning to come to New Orleans. I'm serious. He probably looking at him like, okay, yeah, we might can work with this, especially if Mac keep winning in San Francisco.
I mean, I think I mean we already looked at Cam Ward and got one coach fired. Um, I mean, I mean, to be honest with you, Stefanski might be on his way. This may not be the end. I really think nobody's talking about it, but I think Minnesota made a devastating mistake in letting Sam Darnold walk out the door.
Mhm.
I mean, it's horrible. JJ McCarthy is not an NFL quarterback. They know it. He's healthy. They don't want to play the kid, and I really think the nail in that coffin was letting Sam Darnold go out of Minnesota, man, and yeah, it's looking pretty bad in Minnesota right now. It's really bad.
So who do you
Worst
blame for
decision,
that?
I
Kevin
mean, you
O'Connell.
got to blame Kevin O'Connell because he wanted to move forward with JJ McCarthy's the type of quarterback that needs to be benched for about 3 years. Like he really needs time. He needs a lot of time.
Develop, yeah.
And I don't see nothing that could have been wrong with just taking the Aaron Rodgers approach or the Jordan Love approach to that situation. It's just letting the kid sit down on the bench and quit trying to rush him in there. I like what he's able to do with his legs. I don't like what he was able to do in the passing game, even when he was at Michigan. But I think where they had Sam Darnold playing that last year at that level, and you paying a rookie with that low of a contract, he's on a backup type contract money wise. So there is nothing wrong with them saying, hey, let's see what Sam Darnold got over the next few years or couple years, and let's say he bottoms out. Then you bring in JJ McCarthy. You bring in the JJ McCarthy, but to just let him go and then you're seeing at the level he's playing at in Seattle, it's a bad decision. It's a bad
Yo,
decision.
fellas, y'all don't think that his performance in the playoffs or towards the end of the season, Sam Darnold scared him because he reverted back to his old ways. If y'all remember them last couple of games, y'all don't think that spooked them, and they was like, yeah, nah, we
I,
Yeah, but
we
I
not
mean,
finna give him this money.
yeah, I
I
mean,
don't
but
think. Oh, go ahead,
yeah,
Will.
I think with the sample size of what he put on during the regular season, I mean that stuff you got to work through. That stuff that you can work through. That was a little bit not just on Sam, that was on the whole play calling. They got away from a lot of stuff that they do and they bread and butter. And it did hurt Sam. Sam didn't play well. But I'm thinking about when you talk about bigger
Mhm.
picture. Man, I think they should have stuck it out with It's the same thing we look at like another team, the Jets. You let Robert Saleh go. He got you 7 wins with a team that nobody expected to do anything, and now you sit up here thinking, well, Robert Saleh was the problem. I thought Robert Saleh was a good coach over there. I
Still
thought the
think
Jets
he
the,
is.
the Jets were competent and competitive, and now they pivoted and they're terrible. They're terrible. It's a really bad situation with some of these teams, and what we talked about earlier was just is patience, patience. And as an organization, you just got to be patient because I mean, Trevor Lawrence got paid off having one of the worst postseasons, and so did Justin Herbert. I mean, what has Justin Herbert done in the postseason? Shit would scare the hell out of me if I had Justin Herbert going out in the postseason game and throw 4 interceptions in the fucking first quarter. So I
Man,
mean,
it seemed like Justin done reverted back to Justin.
hey,
He being
exactly,
Herbert again. I,
exactly.
so I don't think we believe in the Chargers anymore, man. Like we said earlier, even though they got injuries, but all of us got injuries. I'm at the point like this, man. I told y'all last when Will and them beat the Rams in overtime, and he was screaming in the group chat, "Coaching matters." After that, hey, after that, man, I said, you know what? He motherfucking right. Damn an injury. Y'all better step up. It's time to
Yeah,
play, man.
yeah,
And
man.
I told Q them, I was like, hey man, I don't want to hear nothing about no injuries, man. San Francisco out there winning. You can't pull that card. You cannot
No,
pull that card,
I,
especially this
and,
year.
and further, man, when you look at Baker, I mean, considering the injuries that they had in Tampa, you being paid a lot of money. Some of these quarterbacks, Brock Purdy, Justin Herbert, Jordan Love, you don't get the benefit of injuries. I'm watching Baker Mayfield make plays. I mean, 13-yard run on the 3rd and 13, which would have ended the game. And he's running through people. He's making stuff happen. That's week to week. Justin Herbert, despite the injuries that they have, he's thrown some bad interceptions. He's made bad plays that has taken him out of situations where they could have won the football game. So it's a lot of it goes back to both players and coaching. So when you paying guys that kind of money, even with Patrick Mahomes, they've had injuries too. They've had things go on. You have to be able to keep your team afloat. And when those times come, you got to play. You got to play up to those situations. And that ain't what we seeing. That ain't what we seeing. So yeah, Everybody don't get the benefit of injuries. You don't get
Yeah,
that.
we at that point now in the season where you sink or swim. Every team, it's gonna be you either going up or you going down. That's where it's gonna be from
I'm
here
still
on
sinking.
out. I hope y'all drown, motherfucker. I just hope y'all keep. Hey, listen, I hate man. Y'all a trap game on Sunday. That's a trap game. Oh my god! It's either they gonna be hungover and still concussed from the Detroit knocking their head in,
Yeah.
or they gonna come out and be like, man, hell no, that was a fluke. Offense ain't playing like that no more. We finna stomp a mud hole in them going into this bye and come back out on the other side. I mean, we like I said, this that pivot in the season where we about to see. And right now, Carolina's sitting pretty. I'm not gonna lie, they sitting pretty for the taking. Too
No, we
bad
are,
Bryce got
man.
hurt.
No,
Yeah.
that actually that may hurt. But Andy Dalton did play well. When they took Bryce Young out for a little bit, and then we saw they took Andy Dalton back out when he had a car accident, and Bryce played well for the second half, the second half and the end of the season. So we just need to make sure that we're putting the Red Rocket in positions to go out there and not lose us a game, and they need to stick to the meat and potatoes, running that ball with the third leading rusher in the NFL, Enrico Dowdle.
Yeah.
That's what we need to do. So I'm looking forward to this game Sunday, man, because I think it should be a knockdown, drag-out game, seeing two good running backs with James Cook and Rico Dowdle get out there and do their thing. And it's just going to be, in my opinion, like the Dallas game, the last team that has the ball will win that game.
Oh,
Okay.
JC Horn getting a little lucky interceptions with one hand. Now you confident
That's a beauty.
again.
JC Horn is a baller, man. I think JC Horn is kind of underrated. I watched JC Horn ever since he played at the University of South Carolina. JC Horn is actually a baller. He's been beat sometimes as well as Mike Jack. But JC Horn definitely stepped up, man, and actually saved that game. He had 2 picks that game. That saved the game for us. But you can't play to the level of your competition against an 0-6 team and think that you're going to actually get a win, because that shit is not going to happen all the time. But you have to step up your game and realize, Buffalo ain't no slouches, even though they're not actually playing the way that I think all of us think they should have been playing, especially with the team they got. But we definitely got to get out there and be hitting on all cylinders. It can't be no misfiring. It can't be no, second guessing yourself and making bad throws and putting your teams in bad positions. And we got to work down on that third down efficiency. That's been killing us too throughout the season. So if we can improve upon those things, man, I think that we'll be 4-0 at home.
Yeah, I got to say something about Carolina. I'm not particularly fond of the job that Dave Canales has done.
I agree.
I think they need to. I think Rico Dowdle's your running back one. I noticed Sunday that they were alternating series with running backs. and they need to make a decision at that position. And granted, Chuba Hubbard was just coming back, but I didn't see a lot of pop. It just looks different when Rico's running that football and what he offers in the passing game as well. I think he just needs to make a hard decision at that position, and you need to ride the hot hand. And the hot hand so far has been Rico Dowdle. He even looked better in that game to me. And it's the same. It's like the Bucky Irvin, Rashad White situation, right?
Conversation. Yep.
You just got to make a decision, and that to me has been an issue with Canales. Sometimes he tried to get too sexy. He tried to make things really complicated, and you need to lean. You need to be a running football team. When they play well, when they're running that football, and he sometimes he tries to do things with Bryce, and Bryce just isn't all the way there yet. He's making strides. He's on the right trajectory, but they need to take a lot of pressure off him and be a little bit more creative in the run game. But I'm not happy with the job Dave Canales has done with that team.
And you know what, man? I 100% agree with you. Me and Kratos was talking that before the show even started, and I was upset and I was pissed about that too, because I was pissed because I know you paid Chuba Hubbard that money, and my exact words are what you said, and you got to make that hard decision. And I would have told Chuba, sit your ass down on the bench. And we're talking about like, hey, potentially he's actually looking out at teams like, hey, who's hurting for running backs? Hey, Chuba, here you go. We got Chuba. His ass is on the market.
No.
His ass
I wouldn't do
all
all of that though, Rich. I sit him down. I ain't finna let him go.
Yeah, like I said, it's the Rashad White situation. Like, Bucky's clear by far. We appreciate everything Rashad White has done. We love what he's done in the past, but clearly Bucky Irvin was the better back. And when he got his opportunities, and I think what you're seeing out of Rico, and Rico has a proven track record that he can play and be a starter. I think in this particular system, Rico Dowdle takes that offense, that run game offense to another level. And I just think they need to make a decision. I get it. And he's probably getting a lot of pressure from upstairs too, because they did pay him. But we're talking about winning football games. And,
absolutely.
I think Rico gives you the better opportunity. He's explosive. He's a one-cut guy and go. He looks better in the passing game. He knows where to be at. I just think if Dave Canales can't make that the hard decision, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna get bad over there.
You give him those 11, 13 carries that Chuba got, he rushes for another 100 yards for 3 straight games. And that's mind-boggling that you go away from that. I mean, we narrowly got away with the win, but he still has 17 carries for 79 yards. And that's rushed for almost 5 yards a carry. So that's indicative of the type of player that you got in Rico Dowdle. So you can't go away from that. No matter how you may feel about Chuba Hubbard, you're trying to win football games. You're trying to save your job. Chuba's going to have to bite the bullet. The only back I'll even like out of Oklahoma State is Barry Sanders. You're not him. Sit your ass on the bench. And we're rolling with Rico.
Roll, Rico. Now roll. Hey.
And Rico played at the University of South Carolina as well. So I'm definitely rolling with him.
Absolutely. Like I said, man, Carolina's one to watch. Stay tuned. But that's it. Thank y'all for tuning in. Go ahead, like, follow, subscribe, and share the content. Until next week, we out.
Peace.